Okay guys, it's time for part 3. Last time we made a spell that had some targets and some effects. This time we're going to make a card with a triggered ability and an activated ability, because those two things are pretty much like spells. They have targets, they have effects, except in the case of triggered abilities they have a trigger condition, and in the case of activated abilities they have some costs. So the card we're going to make is Deadshot Minotaur. And let me get my cards open. So we're going to go ahead and start a new card. Deadshot Minotaur. T-A-U-R, yeah. Don't know how to spell Minotaur. Alright, so Deadshot Minotaur. Multiverse 179543. Mana cost 3, red, green. Types, creature. Creature Minotaur. Power equals 3, not 4. Toughness equals 4. Okay. No keywords. So, ability 0. This is going to be his triggered ability. When Deadshot... Oh, sorry, let me get this in Notepad++, so it looks bigger. There we go. Come on. Alright, ability 0. This is his triggered ability, so type equals abil trig. We'll do the trigger condition later. Let's just pretend like we're making a spell. So the target requirement, there's only one. It's going to be a creature with flying. So, is there anything that has flying that's not a creature? I don't think so. So we'll just use has keyword target flying. So I don't think I don't think anything can give flying. Actually, I guess a creature could. Yeah, let's make it a creature too. So and has keyword is creature. Yeah, it is possible to have a non-creature with flying, so we'll do that. Even though it wouldn't make much sense to do damage to it. Anyway, effect 0 equals damage from this thing to target 0 and 3. Rules text equals when card name enters the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to target creature with flying. Stack text equals pretty much the same thing when, card name deals 3 damage to, alright, now in the stack text, if you put a $, that means whatever comes after it is a function, and it will replace this with, it'll replace the function with whatever the function equals when the game puts the text on the card. So when this ability goes on the stack, it will say this instead of its rules text. So target 0 name. So when this ability triggers, it will say blah 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 deals 3 damage to, and then it'll actually have the name of the target you selected. And that's it for this ability. Now, talk about trigger conditions later. Let's do the activated ability now, because that's the easier one. Same thing, type equals abil activated. Cycling, name equals cycling. The name is just what shows up at the top, it doesn't really matter. So the effect is going to be, you draw a card. So controller of this draws 1 card. Rules text equals cycling, red, green, whoops. Stack text equals draws a card. I need 1 more of these here. Okay. Don't worry about the stack text for now if you don't get it. So this is what cycling does before any of the costs are paid. So we're going to add costs. This is really the only thing that makes activated abilities different from anything else, is they have costs. So cost 0 is going to be a mana cost, which is just going to be red-green. That's the mana cost portion, and cost 1, which is the second cost, is going to be auto disc. I don't know if discard is an actual function. Let me look up what else has cycling. What else has cycling? Slice and dice. Bill activated auto. Okay, no. Discard is not a function, so we have to use auto zone change source hand graveyard. And since this only happens from the, is that it? Cost, draw card. Yeah, okay. Since this can only be used in the hand, there's actually a variable you can use to tell the game that. It's effective zone 0 equals hand. If you want something to be available from any zone, you can do effective zone 0 equals dot star. But in this case, we only want the hand. And if you want something that can be used from two zones, it would be effective zone 0 and then 1 equals something else like graveyard. Alright, so activated abilities are just like spell abilities, but they have costs. Pretty easy. Triggered abilities, just like spell abilities, except they have a trigger condition. A trigger condition has to be a regular expression. I'm not going to look it up. So the scripting language, let me just open up something over here. The scripting engine sends events whenever anything happens in the game. Where's my thing? This one. And they will be under trigger condition. Yeah, here we go. Here are all the trigger conditions that I've documented. There are a lot more that aren't documented. So this is a come into play trigger, so we're going to use the zone change trigger. Regular expression is a string that has to match one of these. So it's going to be zone change. So we only want to match the zone change trigger. Now we can make it match any one of these by using regular expression syntax. If you don't know what that is, probably the most common thing you'll use is dot star, which means any combination of letters or numbers. Except we don't want dot star. The first parameter is what is changing zones, so we want this when it comes from anywhere, so dot star, to battlefield. So this is our trigger condition. Okay, I'm going to go over this again. So we're going to match the zone change event, and the first parameter has to be this object. This object's changing zones. The second parameter can be anything, so dot star means anything. It can come from any zone. The third parameter is battlefield, which is where it's going to. So when this zone changes from anywhere to the battlefield, that's this trigger condition. Okay, and that's pretty much everything in that trigger, I think. Well, let's go ahead and save it. Put it in our test deck. Test.text. I have a bunch of other crap in here. 5 Deadshot Minotaur. I'm gonna need something with flying. Let's add Ornithopter and something that's really big with flying. Something really big with flying. Achroma's protection. What's something really big with flying? Some wall, angelic wall. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and run this. The server's already running. Give it a little bit to start up. There we go. Resolution's a little smaller in this one because I was testing stuff and I don't feel like resetting. Come on. Come on. There we go. It was loading the images. Alright, so let's go straight to pre-main. Play my test land. Play a dude with flying. Play another dude with flying. Alright, we're going to play this guy. So 5 mana, 3/4. It's got 2 abilities. So when I click on it, both come up because I can do both of these from my hand. I can play it or I can cycle it. Let's cycle it first. So it's already in the grave. That's the ability. I pay the mana and I draw a new card. I'm just going to cheat this back to my hand. Let's play it this time. Pay 5. When we resolve it, triggered ability on the stack. Let's do 3 damage to Angelic Wall. And there it goes. It has 3 damage on it. And that's all this thing's supposed to do. And just for fun, I'm going to kill Ornithopter. What? To owner's hand. Play it. And Ornithopter dies. Alright, cool. So our new guy works. Part 4, I think I will just teach you some common things that you'll be doing, like common scripting functions or something like that. And so I'll see you then.